Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be about how to get a higher credit limit. You see, as a beginner in the credit card game, you may be approved for your first credit card and your credit line may be $500 or $1,000. Some may be just a little bit more, but typically your credit line is going to be pretty low. And that's just because you don't have an established credit history at the moment. So how do you go about getting a higher credit line or getting access to more credit? That's what this video is going to be all about. So this video is going to be split into two parts. The first part is going to be why would you want a higher credit line, and the second part is going to be focused on those points as to how you can actually qualify for another credit line increase. So if all of that sounds interesting to you, be sure to sit back, relax, enjoy the video, and comment down below on anything that you think I may have missed that someone else can use for their betterment. So guys, with that, let's get straight into why should you get a credit line increase. The first reason as to why you may want to get a credit line increase is to increase your spending power. You see, with a beginner's credit card limit of $500 or $1,000, you really don't have that much flexibility with how much you are going to be able to charge to your credit card. And typically, you should be charging no more than 30% to your credit line. So having a credit line of $1,000 essentially means that you shouldn't really be charging more than $300 to your credit card account. So you definitely want to get a credit line increase, especially as you begin to hit different levels in your life, as far as, for example, moving out into a new apartment where you are going to be making larger purchases, such as purchasing furniture or electronics, such as a new television system. You definitely want to have a larger credit line so that you can have peace of mind as you make those purchases and still stay within that 30% utilization ratio, which is great for your credit history or your credit report, as we all know by now. Reason number two, and I really don't promote this reason, however, I do want to mention it because it is a reason why people may want to increase their credit line, but it is to lower your utilization ratio. And the reason why I don't promote this is because you should learn how to stick to that 30%. So as you begin to get credit line increases, you're not tempted to spend more than you should spend on your credit card so that it doesn't become detrimental to your credit history and your credit score. So I say use this one with caution, but there are people who use this as a strategy just to ensure that you understand what it is that you're doing and that you are developing good habits and not establishing terrible habits to take you on throughout your path in the future with your credit cards that can just come back to bite you in the butt in the long run. And the final reason that I have is you want to earn more rewards. So if you have a credit card that gives you access to be able to earn rewards with that credit card, you definitely want to have a larger credit line so that you can make those larger purchases on that credit card and not have to split it between your credit card and your debit card. Because with your debit card, you typically aren't going to be earning any rewards. And if you're using cash, you're definitely not earning any rewards. So again, I refer you back to my example in number one with purchasing furniture. If you're purchasing furniture and you have a cashback card where you can get 1.5% or 2% cash back, you're probably going to miss out on a lot of it if you have a really low credit line, and you definitely want to have a higher credit line so you can take advantage of that. Now with that said, let's get into how you can qualify for a credit line increase. This first point isn't really the very first point that I have to share with you all. With this is just for information, but I want you all to know the basics of getting a credit line increase is first, communicating with your credit card issuer. Understand, first of all, if they're going to pull a hard inquiry or not, meaning is this going to show up on your credit file, your credit report? Because there are issuers out there where it isn't going to show up on your credit report because they give you access to your credit score every single month on your credit statements, and they're just going to simply use your payment history with them to determine whether or not you can qualify for a credit line increase. My experience with Discover is that I went from a $1,000 credit line all the way up to a $32,000 credit line, and they never once pulled a hard inquiry on my credit. So that is amazing. I just want to put that information out there with you. But the basic is you have to start with finding out the information and communicating with your credit card issuer. And in some cases, they may give you a credit line increase without you even asking for it. That has happened to me as well. So let's move on to the actual points of how to qualify for a credit line increase. The first point that I have to share with you all is you actually have to make sure that you're using your credit card. The way that the credit card issuer is going to look at it is if you're using your credit card or not, because they are in the business to make money. If you aren't using your credit card, they may not necessarily be making money off of you, especially if you are paying your balance in full every single month, which is something that you should be doing, by the way. So the way they make their money is every transaction that occurs on your credit card, they charge a fee to the merchant. So if you aren't using your credit card and you are requesting a credit line increase, they're gonna say, hold up, pump the brakes, you don't qualify for credit line increase because you're not taking advantage of the amount of credit that we have available to you at this point in time. So keep that in mind. That happened with me recently, and in fact, I was kind of expecting it. With Discover, the last time I requested a credit line increase, they told me no because I'm not using my credit line that I have now. I was barely using it. The only amount of money that I had on that credit card with a $32,000 credit limit was under $100 per month. And I still went ahead, requested a credit line increase to see if I would be approved. And I was not surprised when I was not approved. So I don't want this to be a surprise to some of you. If you have a really good credit score, you have a really good credit history, and you get denied for a reason like this. Hey there, have you considered subscribing to my channel? If you've made it this far, you're probably going to enjoy the content that I have to offer. So if that is true and you enjoy this channel, definitely consider subscribing. Welcome to the family. Hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and do me a favor, like this video so it can reach more people like you who can find it helpful. Without further delay, let's get back to the video. Tip number 2 is making sure you have a really good payment history. Basically, you want a flawless payment history because we don't want to pay any interest. We don't want to pay any late fees on our credit cards. We want to have a really good reputation with our credit card issuers. If you're someone who is giving your credit card issuer a really hard time to get their money back from you, chances are they wouldn't want to give you access to a higher credit line because that's them putting more risk on you, and they're probably labeling you as risky. Think about if you have that one family member who's always asking to borrow money. Let's say they come to you to borrow $20 and they promise they're going to pay you back. But in the back of your mind, you know that you never have received any money back from the family member who has borrowed money from you. So you know if you do give them $20, you're probably never going to see it again in your lifetime. And the credit card issuers are going to think about you in that light as well. So you definitely want to make sure that you are paying your bill on time and making sure you're establishing a really good payment history with that credit card issuer. The third way you can qualify for another credit line increase is through reporting a salary increase. The reason why this may work out for you is because to the credit card issuer, it will appear that you have more disposable income. More disposable income means that you're probably going to be able to spend more money, which means for them, they are going to be able to make more money, whether it only be from those transaction fees. So as you do get salary increases, make sure that you report that to your credit card issuers. This is how I started with getting my credit line increases with Discover. In fact, they sent me a notification or an email. I can't remember which one happened because technology has changed so quickly over the past decade. But they either sent me a notification or an email and told me to let them know when I have graduated from college to determine whether or not they can grant me a credit line increase. And at that point in time, I did do that because I was making a little bit more money, not much more because I was still interning at the time, but I was making more money. I reported that, and Discover gave me my very first increase, and they gave me access to $4,000 more on that credit line, bringing it up to a $5,000 credit line. And I can tell you I was so happy and excited when that happened. In fact, I wasn't even expecting it to increase that much, but this is what Discover did for me. So if you are getting increases, especially as you are making your way onto or into the workforce as a college graduate, definitely report that to your credit card issuers so that they can reevaluate you and give you access to a higher credit line. And I'm going to follow up the previous point with this one, and it is a living expense decrease. Again, the whole reason of reporting this is because this will show to the credit card issuer that you do have more disposable income. So when I'm talking about living expense decrease, I'm specifically talking about your mortgage or your rent. Maybe you have paid off your mortgage, or you've moved into a cheaper apartment and now you have more disposable income to you. Or maybe you have a roommate and you're splitting that rent, so now you're only paying paying a little bit more than half or half of what you were paying before. This means that you have more money available to you, and you can use this as a negotiating factor if you do need to speak with a customer service representative, but they will take this into consideration. It'll be your salary and your living expenses. And this leads us to reason number 5, which may help you to get a credit line increase, is going to be your credit score and your credit history. So maybe you have a perfect payment history with your credit card issuer, but you have other delinquencies in your credit profile, which has brought your credit score all the way down to maybe under 600. This is not the time to try to go ahead and request a credit line increase. You should really focus on those delinquencies on your credit report and try to get those in order before requesting a credit line increase, because every ounce of disposable income that you do have should be going towards those bills that may be delinquent, and focus on those and getting those accounts in correct and good standing order before even thinking about having access to even more credit. Remember, get your debt in check first before trying to have access to more debt, even though that doesn't mean that you're going to take on more debt than you can handle, but it goes with the whole idea of being a responsible borrower. So in the eye of the credit card issuer, if they are going to be pulling a hard inquiry and if they can see that you have a little bit of a sketchy credit score, they most likely will decline you or deny you simply because it looks like you may not be very responsible, even though you are responsible with them. So take that into consideration. You don't want to be there with a very low credit score and trying to negotiate with a customer service representative, telling them, hey, but I paid you guys on time the whole time. And that rep is like, but your credit profile isn't looking very healthy. So wait a moment, build your credit back up, and then apply for a credit line increase. So guys, this is all I have for you. If you've made it all the way to the end of this video, I just want to say thank you. Definitely smash that like button for me and consider becoming a part of the family. If you've made it this far, you definitely will enjoy the content on the channel. Hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any videos in the future. And of course, you made it to the end of the video, so you deserve a high five. So are you ready for it? Here it comes. See you in the next video.